Right now, our second story here on the Poocast podcast, 10 healthy but overlooked foods we should all be eating more of. Jossie, you've got a bit of a handle on this?
Yeah, mushrooms was the first one that comes to mind.
Well, we know they taste great, and I love that they actually bring a bit of umami flavour to things, as long as they're cooked properly. A lot of people think they have to boil mushrooms. Yep, that gets too much water in them, but you would saute them, wouldn't you?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Mushrooms are probably one of my favourite. I have them a lot of different ways, in casseroles, saute them. I have just a whole mushroom for breakfast with some things on it.
Some chili
things as well, yeah.
It's good.
So
they've got a lot going for them. They're low calorie as well.
Yeah, definitely. Red onions. You often hear about the white onions or even spring onions, but the red onions are particularly good in salad and eaten raw.
Yep.
Sardines, that's another tin fish that's other than the salmons and the tuna. You've got sardines as well, and they're also rich in omega-3.
Aha, well, no, you like omega-3s. So what's that, Jossie?
As what I was brought up hearing was that they increase your boob size. So if there's a lot of omega-3 in things. So
I've had a lot of omega-3s growing up.
I did.
Now, listen, what do you do with the oil from the tin fish?
Trick question.
Trick question, yeah. I don't have the oil. I don't buy the tin fish with the oils in it, so... Yeah, there's also sweet potatoes. It's another unheard of one.
I love sweet potatoes, yeah.
I have a little story about that, actually. Mm-hmm. When my first child was born, and then we're going back to the 1980s here, and they had the nursing mothers, and you'd once a week you'd take your child around to the Senate, and the nurse was asking me what I was feeding my child on when she was starting to eat solids, and I said sweet potatoes. She said, "Oh no," she said, "that's too sweet. You shouldn't be introducing sweet things to them so early." So I think this poor lady hadn't actually heard much about sweet potatoes, because that is actually contrary to what is fact.
Yes, indeed, because your mother we'll just remind our listeners, Jossie's mum is a home economics expert and taught it, and very, very aware of what's good and what's bad.
And it was through her that she introduced me to the sweet potatoes.
Fantastic.
And there's a lot of other benefits to sweet potatoes that, because it says sweet, it doesn't necessarily mean they're full of sugar. They're not.
I have to ask you, because a lot of new mums will be listening and new dads, and there's nothing worse than some of those things that end up in the nappies or diapers, as the Americans call them. The effect of sweet potatoes in babies when they're first transitioning to solids, not unpleasant when having to change babies?
Well, we are going back a few years now, but not that I can recall, no. Not anything unusual.
And here's one, this next one you've got listed as an acquired taste, as you said.
Yes, kale. I get the benefits for it. I can't tell you what they are offhand. But yeah, kale, it's one of these superfoods apparently, but to eat it, it's not one of my favourites again.
Not one of my favourites either. I tried that thing where they say take the stem out because that's hard and you don't eat that, and then put olive oil on and put it in the oven and make kale chips. But that sort of, I'm not sure that was particularly exciting either. So jury's out, as you say, on kale. But we're willing to be persuaded. If someone listening has a great recipe for kale, which we will love, please tell us, send us an email, give us a call, and we will include it in the next episode.